your favorite chica, Judy Torres, and we love our music, and we're very specific about how we like the music. For example, you've got this massive music library, right? Millions of tracks. But if you have the iHeartRadio app, it's right under your thumb. You can search, you can play any song you want to hear. And when you hear something you love on the radio, bam! You add it to the playlist and even download it to your phone to listen to anytime. It's an incredible app. You've got to check it out. It's free and it's all under your control. Have fun. The easy app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today. Millions of tracks. But if you to the playlist and even download them to your phone to listen to anytime. It's an incredible app. You've got to check it out. It's free and it's all under your control. Have fun. The easy app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today. When I'm on the air, I need the glasses. Mm-hmm. When I'm not on the air, I don't need them. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Scott, my feelings get hurt when people don't ask how I'm doing before they ask about the tickets.
How you doing?
I'm good, Scott. Your chance comes between 2:20 and 2:50.
Okay.
All right? After the 2 o'clock hour, I'll tell you the specific time, the exact time to call. Okay, Scott?
Okay, Judy.
Okay, have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we're here with Judy Torres. She gave us this opportunity to see her work and to talk a little bit about her career in music and in particular about freestyle and the era of the 90s when freestyle was like really taking off, really like very popular.
Yeah. Well, freestyle kind of started in the mid-'80s. And it really gained the popularity towards the end of the 80s and into the early 90s. Not to correct you, but just to let you know.
That's great. Could you tell me, how did you become part of the freestyle genre and the movement of freestyle music?
Well, it was an accident because I really, originally I wanted to do Broadway. You know, I studied a lot of musical theater in school, and I always thought that I was going to be doing Broadway when I grew up, and but I need to get my foot in the door, you know. So I was performing in different dive bars and different clubs, and finally I did this small little itty bitty place called Side Street in the Bronx, and there was a gong show going on there, and there was a judge who was going to gong me because I was doing a song, I was singing a song kind of silly, just for fun, just to make people laugh, and. It was that judge at the end of the show that came up to me and offered to help me. And I said to him, you know, I don't have any money to pay you. And he said, that's okay, because I don't have any money either, but I want to help you. And so we went ahead and we started working together. And a few months later, he said, you know, you really need to do some original music. And he had a friend named Mickey Garcia who was looking for a singer who had written some music. And I sang this song called, I was given this song called Love's Gonna Get You. And I didn't really like it too much, but this other singer that Mickey was working with got a song called No Reason to Cry. And I told her, you know what, I really like your song. And she's like, I really like your song. So we switched.
Yeah.
And when I first heard No Reason to Cry, like I said, my intention was to get my foot in the door. But when I heard No Reason to Cry, I thought, this is a positive song. It's beautiful. And in my mind, I could imagine that the whole world singing it, you know. And so I went ahead and recorded it. And, you know, not even knowing at that time, it wasn't even labeled freestyle at all. If anything, it was just music. And as the time went on, people started to feel like they had to label it. And the music industry is like, what is this thing that's going on, that's happening in these inner cities, specifically New York City and Florida? And, you know, why... who are they? And it was just really funny. And so at first they called it Latin hip hop.
Okay.
And then they changed it over to Latin freestyle, and then they just dropped it to freestyle.
Right.
So it was an accident, but it was a good accident.
Very interesting how that all came about, because some people might consider that sort of kind of a signature song when they think of you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting how things fall into place that way, like kismet, cosmic.
It's pretty awesome. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing that's lasted 30 years. I didn't think it was going to last this long, and I'm happy to still be performing and non-performing for the fans' children.
Right.
You know, which is pretty amazing.
Right.
But it's all because the fans shared the music. Because I tell people all the time, freestyle never won a Grammy award.
Right.
You know, we didn't have the MTV VMAs and things like that. We didn't have the internet back then. So it was solely word of mouth. So the fact that the parents are sharing the music with their children now is pretty amazing. That's what keeps it going.
Okay, so we're doing these interviews piece by piece. We're
Yeah.
going to continue in a few minutes with a little bit more and some more questions and more with Judy. So we'll be right back.
Excellent.
All right.
I wanted you so much to be my guy, but how could I let you go?
Cloudy with occasional rain shower here and there, high 56. Tonight, cloudy to partly cloudy after midnight, going down to 44. And tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 58. Right now, you heard it, the word is cloudy. It's 54 at the beat of New York.
It was like a love story. Dreams come true. Dreams come true. Love story.
Phones, this is for the music. This is for anything on the computer. This is our Vox Pro. This is how we record our listeners and our phone calls and things like that. From here we can edit, we can bleep people out if they curse, stuff like that. It's basically it. But when I first started working at KTU, we were still using CDs. So when you came in, you had to get your you had to look at the playlist, and you had to pull out all the CDs for all your hours, and commercials were played on cart machines, and it was crazy. You had to get here early. Now everything's it's almost done for you because everything's so digital now. Technology has made things easier for a lot of people. But when something goes wrong in technology, I hate technology.
You've been here a long time working on your show.
I've been here. I had the Freestyle Free For All for 12 years. And then I've been here, this June makes 18 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long, long time. It's good.
And songs that take you right back to great times with amazing people. 103.5 KTU's Throwback Weekend on the beat of New York.
We were
Let me take the glasses off. Go ahead. You got my
Let's
attention.
hide Okay, so we were talking about the popularity of freestyle and how it was a phenomenon growing up in the 80s and the 90s, and it was almost a soundtrack to that generation's lives. So what do you think happened? Was it just an evolution of time that the genre kind of wasn't as popular,
Well,
like it was replaced? What do you think might have happened?
The truth is, I don't know. I think, definitely freestyle is the music of that generation, so that's part of it, because every generation has their own music. Because now you listen to you talk to people from our time, they say, oh, today's music is horrible, but every generation has their own music, so this was definitely our music. I think just as freestyle began to come mainstream, hip-hop was rising. So I remember that Hot 97 in New York at the time was playing freestyle and pop and dance. And then one day the program director had announced, he's like, hey, from now on we're going to play this thing called hip-hop. And then all of a sudden it just stopped being played on the radio. And unfortunately the rest of the country follows suit with what New York does. So if New York plays it, they'll play it, So that became a difficult time for a lot of us. Also, I think, hip-hop has always evolved. And that's why I think it's still around. And I think when you talk about freestyle began to evolve and then kind of just stopped. Because I think everyone found this really great recipe that tasted good, and everyone started making the same recipe, and no one was trying to flavor it up or try something else. And in order for a genre of music to survive, it needs evolution, and I think part of that was that wasn't happening. And I think that some of or a little bit of the quality of the music and the singers, some of it was not up to par. It wasn't as good as it should have been. As I said, it needs to evolve, it needs to improve, and I think that was lacking. But I don't think it was our fault, so to speak. I think I don't know, it just happened, you know.
I think part for me, just speaking personally for me, what I really was drawn to that music, and I'm sure that's what labels picked up on, was the authenticity of it all. Like, you would hear someone like yourself, you would hear someone like Little Susie, just throwing names off the top of my head, the Cover Girls, and we could relate to these people. Like, these people were telling our stories, we could relate to them. And then the sounds that they were creating were relatable too. Like, it was as if we were being represented, and
Yes.
we had never been
Yes,
represented
it's
before.
our people were represented through freestyle because it was created by us. Just the way hip hop was created by the people of the city. Freestyle was also, but freestyle was more like the Latin version, you know. And at the time, auto tunes didn't exist. There was no digital media. They just started to discover the sound of synthesizers and things like that. And that's why when you hear it, sometimes it sounds tinny, or it sounds like, you know, couldn't they fill that up more? No, we couldn't, because that's what we had back then. And there were no auto tunes, so when you recorded, if you messed up, you started all over again. It wasn't like someone would say, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'll fix that word." You know. So it was an interesting time. It was a lot of fun, and you know, I'm glad that it happened. And you know, do I wish that freestyle continued? Yes, but I'm okay that it didn't, because I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know, still performing, and we still have our fans, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, the Latin freestyle became later freestyle, as you said. But for a while, it was considered Latin freestyle, and then all of a sudden, you hear of this new thing. Maybe it could be an evolution, but then again, it's separate and not connected at all. A Latin explosion. Do you remember that phase in music where there was this Latin explosion?
I think there's always a Latin explosion. Whereas, you know, Latinos have always been in music all the time. But, you know, I remember when I first started, they wanted me to change my name, because they said you have to make your name ambiguous so people can't really figure out that you're Latin. And I was like, why? What's wrong with that? Well, if you do that, you know, you might not ever be added on top 40. I was like, why? I don't understand that. So I feel like a lot of us did open the doors for those who are around today, that they can use their name and they can use it proudly. Because my attitude was, I'm not changing my name, because I was picked on in high school, and I wanted those people to know that I had made it. So I wasn't changing my name for nobody. And it might have cost me, who knows, but I'm okay with it. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, it's an amazing genre. I, again, personally, I can only speak for myself. I get these nuances of theater and like big stage and really like singing. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just found the whole genre just absolutely amazing. And again,
It was fun. It was innocent. You know, there's no such thing. You never hear of anything called gangster freestyle. You know, it was innocent. It's about love. It's about falling in love, falling out of love, being betrayed by love, hoping for love, wishing for love, missing love. It's just love. And that's why I think freestyle really rings true to a lot of people, is because it really deals with the innocence of all those feelings.
yeah, the songs were so well written too. Like the lyrics were just so amazing. Like, people remember lyrics. You know, like they can remember the lyrics, and they sing the lyrics along.